This is Red Riding Hood and her mother. They live near a big, dark forest. Her name comes from the bright red cloak with a hood that her granny made for her. Her mother said, "Please take this food to your granny. She's unwell and in bed." Go through the forest, but don't talk to any stranger you meet on the way. Red Riding Hood waves goodbye. She walks into the forest with the basket in her hand. She sees some birds, rabbits and butterflies in the forest. She doesn't see this big black wolf watching her from behind a tree. Suddenly, the wolf is in the path. "Where are you going?" he asks. "I'm taking this food to my granny," says Red Riding Hood. "Take your granny some flowers," he says. Red Riding Hood thinks that it is a good idea and stops to pick some flowers. The wolf races through the forest and reaches Granny's cottage. Granny is sitting up in bed. The wolf pushes open the door and runs in. He pounces on Granny and locks her up in a cupboard. The wolf puts on Granny's nightcap and glasses and climbs into the bed. He pulls up the quilt and waits for Red Riding Hood to come. Red Riding Hood knocks on Granny's door. "It is me, Granny," she says. "Come in, my dear. I'm in the bedroom," squeaks the wolf. "Hello, Granny," says Red Riding Hood. She stares at Granny and says, "What big eyes you have got." "All the better to see you with," squeaks the wolf. "What big ears you have got," says Red Riding Hood. "All the better to hear you with," squeaks the wolf. "What big teeth you have got," she says. "All the better to eat you with," says the wolf. Red Riding Hood screams. A woodcutter who was working in the forest nearby hears the scream. He runs very fast and reaches the cottage. He goes in through the door. On seeing him, the wolf runs away. The woodcutter hears a knock. He looks around and sees a cupboard. He opens it and helps Granny to come out. He unties Granny. Granny thanks the woodcutter and they all have tea together. You must have enjoyed listening to this wonderful story. This story had lots of names. Names of persons like Red Riding Hood, Mother, Granny and Woodcutter. Names of places like forest, cottage, bedroom. Names of animals like birds, rabbits, butterflies, wolf. Names of things like cloak, bed, food, basket, flowers, trees, cap, glasses, quilt, cupboard, etc. All these names are called naming words or nouns. So words that tell us about the names of persons, places, animals and things are called naming words or nouns. Recap. Names of persons, places, animals and things are called naming words or nouns. Some of the nouns that we came across in the story we just heard are names of persons: Red Riding Hood, Mother, Granny and Woodcutter. Names of places: forest, cottage, bedroom. Names of animals: birds, rabbits, butterflies, wolf. Names of things: cloak, bed, food, basket, flowers, trees, cap, glasses, quilt, cupboard, etc.